Hey everyone, my name is Heather and I have another scrapbook process video for you here today. I am going to do another layout using Echo Park's I Love Winter collection, and this time I am going to be mixing both black and white and color photos. I believe some of these I took on my phone, and that is why I did not get them printed in black and white. I think that I had just forgotten that I'd already done the rest. But I really like the look of black and white and colored photos mixed together on a layout. If you've never done a layout like that, give it a try. It really can turn out really cute. I am going to try to still use the same collection with these as I have the last few videos. I just want to use that same collection. I'm trying to get it used up. Because they're still black and white photos, even though they're wearing the green and orange, it's going to work out okay. I am going to struggle a little bit with which papers to use later on in the video, but I'll talk about that when we come to that point. So I'm just trimming up my photos, and I am following a sketch this time from Scrapbook Generation, and it was actually from their 6x6 paper pad class. I don't know the exact name of the class, but let me tell you, if you like sketches, oh my gosh, I know I've mentioned them before, but I absolutely love Scrapbook Generation sketches. I've used the same sketch many times. I've always, when I'm stuck or don't have any mojo, I always look at their sketches, and it really helps. So if you like sketches, please check them out. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. It's just I really like their sketches. So here I am on this left-hand page. So I'm making a double page layout. So on the left page, I am adding some photos, and I am cutting my photos and doing different sizes than what their sketch called for, but I don't think that you have to follow a sketch exactly like it is. I believe a sketch is just for inspiration to help get you started in scrapbooking, and then you take it from there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 photos on this side, and you can see, well, maybe you'll have to see in a few minutes, I kind of mixed up where the black and white photos and the colored photos went, so that my son's green jacket wasn't all on like the left side or on the right side. They're kind of back and forth. So here I am picking out photos, and because this was from the 6x6 Love class, or I don't remember the name, paper pad or 6x6 Love class. Basically, it's a class for only using 6x6 pads in your scrapbooking, and that class is packed with sketches for you to download. She has sketches for you to use, just the paper pads, and then sketches from those sketches, if that makes any sense. So I was blown away with how many sketches you would get out of that class. So I am obviously not using 12x12 6x6 paper pads for this class, but I'm thinking I'll just cut these papers down because any paper that's 6x6 will work. So I know that the colors, I know that there's the green and the orange. My one son has a green jacket, one son has an orange colored jacket, and I know those colors are there, so I didn't want to go with too bright or too busy of patterns. So I am going to struggle just a little bit, but I'm going to cut some of these down, and the funny part is I'm not even going to end up using this. I'm hoping maybe for my next layout I can use it, but I'll find something else to use it for. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I really like this wood grain one. I didn't want to use all the cut aparts, so I'm trying to figure out which cut aparts maybe I would want to save, but I think I ended up just cutting it down and not even worrying about it in the long run, because there's so many die cuts and other stickers and things with those same shapes. So I'm going to go ahead, and I am inking all my edges with black close to my heart ink like I like to do, and I'm going to go ahead, and here's where I'm going to struggle a little bit, because the wood grain has stripes and the other one has stripes, so I didn't want them to sit next to each other, but the ones that I had picked out, it didn't look good there with the blue or the 3 patterns and then just one solid, and I really play around, and I'm not liking that. I don't know why I wasn't too crazy about that. I'm going to pull out this red, and I'm going to cut down this red to 6x6, and I'm not worried about cutting apart all my 12x12s at this point, because like I did take the class, so if I struggle using up these scraps for the then I still have all the other sketches from that class if I need inspiration. So then I thought maybe I could pull in the left page to kind of maybe help figure out what I wanted the right side, what colors to use in the right side. And if you can see the sticker strip that I put on the very left hand side, it's kind of a different blue than the one on the right. The one on the right is a dark blue, and it's kind of more of a tealish blue. So I'm going to cut a strip of that striped pattern paper, and I'm going to ink the edges of it, and I'm going to glue it down along that blue border sticker strip, thinking that that would pull the stripes from the right hand side over. And it does help. It actually adds a little bit more interest on this side. You can see me, I'm just using my thin scrappy tape because that makes putting these tiny little, I don't know, maybe that strip's about 1/8 of an inch. I didn't measure, but that tape makes gluing those down so much easier. So now I'm just going to go ahead and ink my edges of these papers that I took out since I was trading them out. And just making sure the brown one got ink on it. So I'm going to go ahead and play around with this a little bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these down. And I don't glue them perfect. That's the only bad thing about that cutter, is there's no real exact 6-inch mark for you to know where to cut at 6 inches. I still love that cutter. It's my favorite cutter that I've ever had, and I've had it for years, so I will use it. The 6-inch doesn't bother me. I can always measure on my grid mat that I have, and that's actually part of why I bought that grid mat, was so that I could use it for measurements, not just for cutting. So I went ahead, glued these on, and I like this. And on the right hand page of the sketch, they had some 3x3 photos in a block. I'm going to put mine a little bit different because they also called for 2.5 maybe, or another size. I'm not exactly sure. But so now I'm just going to lay out my photos. And what I'm thinking at this point was that I wanted to mount them on a white background paper so that they would have a little bit of a white border to help them stand out from the photos behind them. Or I mean from the pattern papers behind them. So you could see me just playing around a little bit. Again, I'm trying to make sure that the black and white ones are separated and the orange coats aren't next to each other and the green coat pictures are not next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all these down, and I'm going to glue them right next to each other side by side. So there's no white showing through. Sometimes a little bit of white or border showing through is cute, but this time I just wanted them side by side. And I'm just going to keep gluing those down. And then I'm gluing this one down, and you will see what I fill in those extra spaces with. I think they have journaling in one spot. I don't end up adding any journaling, I don't believe, just because it's obvious the kids are just playing out in the snow. So I'm going to use my Perfect Layers tool, and this is the large one. I think I added the hole, there's a hole on it, and I have a paper clip just so I can hang it on a hook on my desk door. But this is a large one. You've seen me use the small one that is made just for mounting photos or smaller pieces of paper, and this one is actually a full 12 inches. So but it does the same thing, and I've actually been using these tools a lot lately, and I went for a while without using them, and I almost thought about getting rid of them at one point, so I'm really glad that I didn't get rid of them. I just love how it gives you the same size border all the way around. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of black ink to the white cardstock paper, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to bring out the paper, but I still don't like it. I don't know, I can't, there's just too many colors going on in the back, and they're not smooth flowing colors. And I thought about using this tag here in this spot, but it's just, I'm struggling at this point. I'm trying to think maybe what I want to put there, if I want to put something else, if that will help bring in the colors or make the colors from the background a little less obvious. So I thought about cutting this card out, cutting the title out of this card, because it was such a bigger shape, that maybe that would help. And I do like that, and it is going to stay there, but you will see what I do with that in a little while. So here's where I decided, okay, that background's just not going to work. So I'm going to play around, and I'm going to find a different pattern paper that I like back there instead. I thought about this blue with the polka dots. Again, I'm thinking about the blue on the far left, which is more of a teal blue, and the red was too much. And then this dark blue, was just a little too dark. I was actually surprised because at first I thought maybe I would want to use this one, but it just didn't come together. And maybe with the, now looking at it with that tag, it actually looked okay. But once I flipped it over and found this side, and I liked this side. It is still a little bit of a busy pattern, but it's a little more subtle than what was there first. So I'm just thinking about it for a minute here and just looking at my other papers. I thought about the cute snowman because that blue matches the strip on the other side, but it was a little bit too much on the busy side again. So I am going to go ahead and go with this one. And it has ice skates on it, which I don't really care. I don't mind that. I mean, they were out. It was cold. You wear ice skates in the cold. So I don't mind that there's ice skates on it. So I went ahead and glued down my big block of photos. And now I'm just going to play around a little bit with the die cuts and pieces that I might want to go in the little spots. So at first I thought I was going to put that snowman chipboard piece there, but I do have some photos of them making a snowman that I kind of want to save that for. And I also wanted to use up these other chipboards. I am going to try the winter word here, but it just didn't look very good down there. And there was nowhere else. You know me, I struggle with the banner type pieces. So I tried that tree a few minutes ago, and it was too green again. I love that tree. I might have to add it to a different Christmas collection. So there was a tag that I put on the left hand side there, and I believe that is a chipboard piece, and then that red snowflake. And I like the penguin on the right side. You know, again, they're not obviously where the penguins are living, and they're not real penguins. It's not a page about penguins, but I don't care. It's cold. It's the whole point. It's just cute. I like cute things. So the penguin is going to stay there, and I found those gloves that I've been trying to use. I got those, or these are the chipboard ones, I believe. I finally got those. I'm getting those. That is going to stay by the Most Wonderful Time of Year sticker. So now what I'm looking for is just a scrap that I can use to cut down to back in that little 3x3 space right there. So I'm just going to trim this piece of paper down, and because I didn't want that big white block. And I'm also going to cut another 3x3 piece. I'm just going to flip that over once or twice to see if I want the dark blue or the light blue. And I like the light blue because I figure it doesn't stand out so much from the background. And then on this 3x4 cut apart card, there was a circle that says Hello Winter, and I just got my circle punch out. I don't know what size, maybe 2-inch or something like that. I just got that out, and here you can see me, I'm inking both sides so that I can try them both sides. But I just punched out that Hello Winter with the circle, and I really like how it looks there. So here I am. I'm going to trim this pattern paper down to go behind the It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year saying. And the stripe works really well here because you only see a tiny bit of the stripe, so it's just like a tiny mat. So it brings your attention there, but it doesn't take too much attention away from the rest of the page. So, and it was cut a little weird. Somewhere my photos must have been cut wrong, so it does sit there a little bit. It's a little bit longer on one of the sides, but I'm not going to fuss about it. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to look at my layout in the future and go, oh my gosh, look, that square's smaller than the other one. And if they do, who cares, right? So I'm just going ahead and gluing down the starts to my clusters because I like how they're looking. So you know me, I don't wait too long to start gluing them down. And so I have the penguin there in that cluster along with the Hello Winter circle, and I'm adding this red snowflake sticker. And I tried again to use the snow banner. Oh, it's such a cute little banner, and I do struggle with banners, but it was such a good little size. Usually banner stickers are large and I can never fit them anywhere, so I really tried using that banner sticker, but it's not going to make it on the layout. So then in my bottom cluster, or in the middle bottom, where it says the Most Wonderful Time of Year, I have that glued down, and then I have the gloves glued down next to that to start a cluster there. And I got a little bit of adhesive on my picture, and I tried using that, what do they call that, a gummy getter or something, but I've never been able to get that thing to work. I like my white erasers better than the gummy thing. So this chipboard this blue circled snowflake chipboard piece was just a little bit too thick because that tag was chipboard and the red snowflake is chipboard. So I just tore like half of it off of the back so it just sits a little bit lower. It still has a little bit of dimension, but I didn't want everything over there to be popped up. I wanted to have a little bit different heights. So I'm going to go over to the right hand page, and I knew I had these like tag word stickers, banner word stickers. I'm not exactly sure what you would exactly call those, but I knew I wanted to try adding a couple of those to the right hand side. So I got one that says frozen in time, and it's going to stay there. I like the blue in that because that blue matches the same blue as the border sticker on the far left of the page. So it's going to stay there. And then I found this other one, and I liked it because it had a white background with red words, and so it doesn't stand out. It gets a little bit of attention, but it doesn't stand out too much. Again, there's a little bit of red in each cluster, so I'm trying to have your eye flowing with the red. And you can see at this point that even though my son is wearing a bright green jacket and my other one has bright orange on, because there's some black and white photos, it kind of tones down those greens and oranges. And so even though there's no green or orange in any part of the pattern papers or colors of this layout, it still goes okay. And plus the red goes with orange kind of pretty well. So so the colors actually work out really well, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. If all those photos had been color photos, I don't know if I would have liked it as much, but so give it a try, give the black and white photo thing. So here I am. There's like 3 or 4 of the decorated brads. Oh, here you can see me. I'm going to play around and I'm going to see you stab. I just stabbed myself. So don't do that. I'll add that to my what not to do video, right? There's these brads on that you get with the brad sheet that have a giant pearl on them. And to be honest, I'm not crazy about that. They're just a little bit too bulky for me. So what I am trying to do, and sorry, I didn't realize my head got in the way. I'm trying to kind of get the glue out from underneath it, thinking I could take the pearl part off and just use the pearl. But man, those suckers are on there. They ain't coming off at all. So I gave up on that after a few minutes. I really tried. I even had some of the glue coming out, but they just were not coming off, which is good to know. If you use them, you don't have to worry about the pearl ever falling off. But so those will just go in my giveaway pile because I'm not going to worry about those because I know I won't use them. So I'm just going to try these other brads. And originally I thought I wanted to poke a hole in the snowflake and add the brad to that, but when I tried the enamel dot over it, I actually really liked the way the enamel dot looked. So I'm going to add a white enamel dot to each of the centers of the snowflake. So a little bit larger one on the blue snowflake on the left and a little bit smaller one on the red snowflake on the left. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue this snowflake die cut down in this cluster here. It's not a very large cluster since the title is kind of, I'm just kind of guessing that's my title. You know, I don't really have a title for this page. So again, like I said, they're just playing in the snow. It's pretty obvious. So I'm going to add a larger enamel die, a larger enamel dot in the snowflake on the right and kind of a medium-sized one in the snowflake in the middle. And then I am going to add a few enamel dots to each cluster. I think there's 2 blue ones and one, I can't see it from here. So there's basically 3 enamel dots in each cluster also. So I'm pretty much done with the page, but I felt like it needed a little something more. So these are my snow or winter themed stamps. I kind of keep them under the theme of winter. I do break up stamp sets to store them because I found when I need like a snowflake, if that snowflake's in 5 different places, then I won't know where the snowflakes are, but breaking them up and putting them all together makes it really convenient. So I just picked out 3 random snowflakes from the sheet, and I'm using black, can't remember the name of that ink pad, but I'm just going to stamp the 3 snowflakes together. in a bunch of different places all over the layout. And I also forgot that I did add a little chipboard piece that says Burr on it to the top of the photo cluster on the right hand page. You'll see it in just a minute. It's just that little red piece right there that I was working on. Well, I guess I haven't glued it down yet, but I am making a tiny little cluster up there. I think I just felt like it needed a little something up there. When I do double page layouts, I don't worry about having the odd number of clusters. I just try to make sure that your eye can go smoothly from one page to the next, because I find that I like 4 clusters on a double page layout more than I do 3. It just, the placement of them is just, that's just how I seem to like double page layouts. So you can see that the stamping really helped to make everything kind of come together. I think it's the black just kind of helps draw your eye, and it goes along with the black and white photos. So I hope that you guys like this layout. I think, oh, I'm just going to add a few enamel dots up into this corner, and I believe that is the layout for you. So here is a couple of close-up pictures for you of the layout and the clusters. Thanks again for taking the time to watch my video, and I will hopefully have another one up for you on Friday. Thanks, guys, and I hope you find some time to get creative yourself this weekend. See you next time. Bye.